Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. Sorry, I'm a little bit late again, but I'm in my back cave at the moment, just trying to adjust and get things ready. So, look, lots to talk about this morning. A right back, Gusto. We've been linked to him. Also, an Amazon fear around Manchester United and why they may not be looking to buy Manchester United, which I think is interesting. We've also had Erik ten Hag speaking openly about Harry Maguire and how he believes he can be a top-class player for Manchester United, and a few other bits to get into as well. So hope you're all doing well this morning, and you're very welcome on the show, of course. Let me just sort that out there as well. Okay. Good morning and welcome to the show. Hope we're all doing very well. So, look, let's start off with this story about Gusto. Then I want to talk about Amazon Prime. Lots and lots of stuff to get into, of course. And let me just start off with where this story is coming from. So, Malo Gusto, who plays for Lyon. He's French. He's not Portuguese. He's French. 19 years of age. Plays for Lyon. Malo Gusto is one of several top targets at right back for Manchester United. Gusto is very highly rated at United and would be seen as a big solution option for the summer. Bosses estimate a price of around 30 to 40 million euros. So that is that story and where it's coming from. It's coming from Plettigol, who again was talking about a few other players before, of course. Look, it's interesting. I did a video a few weeks ago, didn't I, about top right targets and top right back targets, of which, if I recall, it was Dumfries, it was Max Aarons, it was Ethan Laird coming back from loan, it was Frimpong, and it was Gusto. And I remember saying in that video, and a lot of people in the chat agreed, I'd go for Gusto, because is he the best in that list? Is he the cheapest on that list? No, but is he the most suitable option on that list? Yes, I think he is, because if you look at it like this, I feel that with Gusto, you've got a player there that can, at 19, playing in the French league. I have faith in Delot. Basically, I have faith in Delot. And if Delot is to be the first choice right back, which he is at the moment, then you need to bring a right back in that can challenge him, but also develop. And I think Malacia is perfect. What time does Who Want to Be a Millionaire start, says Robert McCormack. There might be one of those tonight. But yeah, so I think that if you bring Dumfries in, or you bring in, even a Frimpong to a certain extent, although he is a little bit younger. But if you bring a Dumfries in, which is who Ten Hag wanted in the summer, then he's going to want to be first choice right back with Delot, and that generates problems. It would be like buying Ben Chilwell to play at Man United and battle it out with Luke Shaw. Both of them absolutely want to be first choice straight away. You bring Malacia in, he wants to be first choice, but he knows Luke Shaw's the senior left back. He's had his chance, and now Luke Shaw's got it back. So I think that if you bring Gusto in, he's got to adjust to the Premier League. He's only 19, 20, and he will then be able to challenge Delot straight away, but has got a lot of development to go. So he, for me, would be the number one signing we should go for. But it's interesting that it would be a summer signing, and I suppose it comes down to Santiago says that Dumfries would be a good option. I suppose it comes down to what you want, and what Erik ten Hag wants. Do you want to buy a player for the now, or do you want to buy a player in the summer? And it's a bit like the striker situation. We were talking about this a couple of months ago, but with the striker, we've got to buy them now. Because of Ronaldo, we have to buy the striker now. Do we have to buy the right back now? And maybe there is a chance here where you go, look, and Ates, thanks for the super chat, says, what happened to Aaron Wan-Bissaka? He was unstoppable when he joined. Why was he actually dropped? I never understood. Inability to go forward. I think you've answered your own question. Wan-Bissaka as a defensive right back is not bad at all. Aaron Wan-Bissaka as a modern attacking right back just isn't that. He just isn't that. You look at the way he runs, you look at what he's like on the ball. His style is too pragmatic. He's a defensive right back. He's not, and that's the problem. And look, Ten Hag wants his right backs and left backs to play like inverted midfielders at times. So he's just not suitable for the system. But I would be comfortable if United didn't buy a right back in January, as long as the solution is short term. Now, whether that's keeping Wan-Bissaka till the summer, which I don't think can happen, whether that's bringing Laird back from QPR, I don't know whether that's best for him. But if it meant buying Gusto in the summer, I think that could be a good option. And I do like this player, and I think he fits the bill of Delo is first choice. I just want us to replicate what we've done at left back with Shaw and Malacia. I know that Malacia can challenge Shaw if he drops off, but it makes Shaw better. And I think Delo deserves to be our right back and then get somebody that challenges him. And, on Gusto as well, let me just say, he's got the lot. He can attack, he can create, he can defend, he's quick, and also he's 19, so you can also mould him in the things that he's not so good at. So if you're not sure about, his defensive side of the game, you can work on that. I mean, look, for 30-40 million euros, I think he'd be a really, really good player. Ken says, what about Brandon Williams? I don't rate Brandon Williams. I don't want to be. Well, I'm just going to say it. I mean, what sort of world do we live in? There's people who probably go, I'm not watching the United stands. Like, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't know why we live in a world like this. I want Southgate to leave England. Oh, yeah, I hate him. No, I don't. I just don't think he's a very good England manager. So I've seen nothing yet that makes me think Brandon Williams is any good. And I'm not going to talk about the weekend where he got, skinned more times than a banana. He was absolutely dreadful. And I've seen his Instagram pictures of, another game under my belt, and I agree. I agree with that. He's not played for 5 months. He needs to get his fitness up. But I don't think he's a very good fullback. I think when Southampton wanted him a year ago, he should have ran at that chance because they would have played him. I think that's where he needs to be going. I can't for the life of me see a player there that's going to be a Man United player. He might well be. Look, I said Matic was done, and he came back and had a really good couple of years. So, look, anybody can turn it around. Anyone can turn it around. But for me, I don't think. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just answering the question about him as a right back for Manchester United. I've not seen anything that makes me suggest that at the moment. Jackie Grealish says, I think I would have suited the United system. What do you think, Mark? I think Grealish would have been very good for Manchester United, yeah. No news on Delo's injury at the moment, Manish. And no, this is what's wrong with the club. 30-40 million on a right back to challenge Delo. Max we should be looking to spend on right back cover is 15-20 million, says Charlie Max. Well, give us somebody who's available for 15-20 million. That's the problem you've got there. I don't disagree with you, but ideally I would like to get somebody cheaper as well, but it's not always easy to do. Selling a club takes time. We have to be patient, says Bear, who's got a Liverpool badge next to his name. I will just talk about that, by the way, just very quickly. We had a really good show last night talking about Amazon potentially being interested in buying Manchester United. I was thinking about this last night, and I thought, I've got to mention this on the show. One of the big reasons I think they won't buy Manchester United, and one of their big fears, is actually, look, if you think about it, there's not many owners out there that come into football and instantly are loved by fans. And my point is here that I don't think Amazon are going to be put off by having to build a new stadium. There's positives to that, because you might even call it the Amazon Prime Trafford or something like that. I don't know. I don't think they'll be put off by buying players, because that again is positive for your brand. I don't think they'll be put off by the debt, because the debt will be consumed with the sale anyway. Nobody's going to buy Man United for 5 or 6 billion and then still be 600 million in debt. The Glazers will have to take the debt with them. But the one thing that I think that Amazon would, Prime Trafford sounds badass, says Zero Blade. The one thing that would really cause a problem to an Amazon or any business like that is that, imagine you buy Man United and things start to go wrong, i.e. Liverpool keep winning titles or Man City start catching us up, and fans start to go, Amazon aren't interested, they're more interested in, this, that and the other. And you then start to see negativity towards Amazon. Oh, they're shit owners. Oh, that's really bad for them. That's really bad. Buying Manchester United could be brilliant for brand awareness, but it could also be terrible if they don't run the club well. And they might buy the club with real intent, but it's not easy. I mean, look, just because Newcastle are the richest club in the world doesn't mean they're going to topple Man City. Not at all. I think if they were the only rich club in the league, and I've seen that before with Blackburn and Chelsea and Man City, you're always going to rise to the top eventually. And Newcastle will rise, but how high will they rise? Are they really going to push Man City aside? I don't think so. I don't think so. So if Amazon buy Manchester United, there's no guarantee that we're going to win the Premier League and the Champions League every year. And then if we don't win the Premier League and the Champions League, and people start going, well, I know they bought that player, but they should have bought these players instead. And then suddenly you've got, I'm not saying Glazer out like Amazon out, but you've got negativity towards Amazon, and United fans don't like Amazon. And then suddenly it's backfired. So I think that might be something that a business like Amazon or anyone else might be. I think that's the only reason they wouldn't do it. I was thinking about that slide. I was thinking, why wouldn't they do it? Because for me, there's a lot of reasons why you would do it. But SK says fans can push on Amazon, less so with the state, to be honest. Exactly, SK. You know, if Amazon aren't doing what you want, you can start saying, you know, there's all sorts you can do as a fan base. And yeah, I think that would be their biggest fear. People think, oh, the debt or building a stadium. I don't think that, you know, you go into that eyes wide open, but what you can't account for is if things don't go well and you start having to sack managers and you start buying players badly, then things could go well. But Mark says that's a part of football that would never make them not buy the club. Okay, Mark, so why? I completely disagree with you, but let's not get into an argument here. What other club have Amazon bought? What other club have Apple bought? What other club has been bought by someone similar to that? So you can't say that would never stop them buying a football club because nobody's done it. So your argument is completely flawed because nobody's done it. And what I've said is completely valid. One of the big reasons a big brand might not buy a football club is if it goes wrong and you start getting protests and this, that and the other, it's terrible for your brand. And they might think it's just not worth the hassle, or it's not worth that. And nobody goes into that situation with their eyes wide, with their eyes shut. Which is why that would be a reason I think they might not want to buy us. But everything I said last night still stands true. I think the positive of it is, look, if I was Amazon and somebody said to me, if someone from Amazon rang me up and said, look, we're thinking to buy Manchester United, we're a little bit worried about, if it backfires, what would you do to stop that from happening? I would say, well, look, at the end of the day, you're going to build the stadium or rebuild the stadium. You're going to buy players. The main thing you need to do is make sure that you've got the best of the best. Like, don't come into that football club and keep the same people in place that they've messed up over 10 years, whether it's, director of football, CEO, whatever. They've presided over a shithole for 10 years. They've got to go. You go out and recruit the best. And if Bayern Munich have got the best sporting director, you get that. If Lyon have got the best CEO, you get that. If Brighton have got the best coaches and Ten Hag wants them, you go and get that. Because then you can't be criticised. The big reason the Glazers have been criticised over the last 10 years is because of nepotism. And nepotism is favouritism, keeping it in-house. For 10 years, we've had rumours coming out of that football club that the reason the Glazers keep people like Woodward and everyone else is because they know too much and they help them buy the club. So they're all friends together. It's all a tight-knit group. You need to break that down and just be a football club that's run on the best. Just like your manager. If your manager fails, you sack them. If your striker isn't doing very well, you bench them and buy another one. Same with your director of football, same with your technical director, same with your CEO. That is what you do, because then the fans will always be on your side. Because if there is an underperforming director of football, you sack them and you bring somebody else in. That's how you do it. That's how you prevent yourself from being targeted like the Glazers have been, quite rightly. No, this is okay. I've done that one from that, and we've done that from that. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Appreciate that. Amazon may be another Glazer, says Paramount. Well, I disagree with that. Any more news on Gakpo and you doing the Argentina game? I am, Ants TV. I've got to be honest. I mean, I enjoyed doing the 8 o'clock show last night. I wish I was doing the 8 o'clock show tonight, but unfortunately, the World Cup is still going on. And you know what? I don't want to say I told you so, but I did say this about the World Cup. This World Cup is going to end up being swept under the carpet and forgotten very, very quickly. And then as we start to build to the next one, people will say, oh, thank God we've got... You know what this World Cup's like? I know exactly what this World Cup is like. This World Cup is like, and I've never done this because I know this is what happens. I've seen people do it. I don't know whether you have, right? Have you ever had any family or friends who go to Mexico or they go to a hot climate for Christmas, yeah? and they're bragging about it. You know, oh yeah, this year we're off to Mexico for Christmas. We're flying out Christmas Eve. We'll take a couple of presents, but you know, we just want to get away from all Christmas and everything like that. We're going to Mexico for Christmas and New Year, and they go, yeah, and they pack, you know, they're off in their swimming trunks and they're putting their pictures on Instagram, right? You speak to them in February, right? Well, it was good, but I really missed Christmas. I really missed it. You know, I can't wait till next year. It feels like we didn't have a Christmas, yeah? That's what this World Cup is. Oh, this World Cup's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. It's the best World Cup ever. Forget all the nil-nils. Forget all the crap football. It's the best World Cup ever. It's been brilliant. It's the best, the best, the best, the best, right? In 2 months' time, maybe not even that, people will be going, felt like we didn't have a World Cup. Can't wait for a proper World Cup in America. And that's what this World Cup was always going to be. Always going to be. Because it had so many people saying that we shouldn't have been having this World Cup that subconsciously people will think that anyway. But, I mean, I find the Championship more exciting than the World Cup at the moment. So, but yeah, I'll be doing the watch along. I mean, someone's got to win. I mean, winning a World Cup's a big thing, isn't it? So, yeah, I'll be doing that later. Who is it tonight? Is it Argentina, Netherlands? Yeah, I think so. Apparently Robin van Persie is back at Manchester United this week, by the way. Manchester Evening News are saying that he's continuing working on his coaching badges. I would have loved Van Persie to have got a job, but apparently he's not being linked to joining the coaching staff. He's just purely assisting a friend of the club with his career development. So there you go. Also, we've got some updates on, talking about the World Cup, by the way. We've got some updates coming in. Who would you like to win the World Cup? Probably Croatia. I've got to be honest, I find Morocco... Look, people aren't going to like this, but I'm going to be honest. I mean, Morocco beating Spain was fine. Portugal was too far for me. It's like people champion the underdog, but the underdog always has to play shit football. Like, I like an underdog that plays good football. And I don't know whether that's possible. When you look through history, I remember Wimbledon beating Liverpool in the 88 FA Cup. It was tiny. And I was like, God, how are Liverpool not winning? Because they were dominating them. But yeah, the underdog, I don't want Morocco to win the World Cup. I think it'd be a great story if Morocco win the World Cup, but it was like Greece when they won the Euros. They were absolutely shit. So I'd rather Croatia win it. Obviously, Argentina and France have won it already. You put it perfectly the other day. We have been force-fed this World Cup. All I want every Christmas is United every 2 or 3 days. Hopefully the window rescues it, says Charlie. I can't wait for Man United Burnley next week. Would you do a Mike Bassett England manager watch-along? This is relaxing Irish farm videos. I've never watched it myself. And Christian says, Ranić ended a few games with Alanga at right back and he hardly put a foot wrong. Attacking mindset, young and willingness to learn, worth considering. Not for me, Christian. You may have unearthed a diamonds in the rough there, but I don't really think Alanga is a right back, if I'm honest. Just a couple of updates as well. So Erik ten Hag has been speaking about... Well, I'll start off with Simon Stone's update. So Simon Stone has basically said that Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez will get a week off when they finish the World Cup. Therefore, Harry Maguire is in line to start against Nottingham Forest on the 27th of December. I don't know why... Harry Maguire gets a special mention there because Victor Lindelof's in line to start as well, of course, because Varane and Martinez will be away. So the report is that Manchester United players who played in the World Cup will get a week off. So Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes and everybody else who went out on Sunday will be back and training on Monday, a week yesterday. We play Burnley on the Wednesday. So they could all play. Luke Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, they could all be involved in that game, of course. So we'll have to wait and see. But with Martinez and Varane, they will play this Sunday or Saturday, depending if they get to the final or they play in the third place, fourth place game. And then they'll get a week off, which would mean they would train on the Monday for the game that's going to happen on the Tuesday. It'd be tight for them to be involved in that Forest game. And being as it's at home, I think he will go with Maguire and Lindelof. But and then we'll get Varane and Martinez back for the Wolves game. So, yeah. But I'd always said that. I said if you get to the semi-finals, you're probably not going to play in that Forest game. So it's Slawsboro's news to me. It's not breaking news. I think that was always obvious. But Maguire and Lindelof should be okay for that game, if we're absolutely honest. Got a few quotes from Erik ten Hag as well. He's been speaking about the situation with Harry Maguire. Let me just get these quotes. Just need to go to the United Stand website. There we go. Hope you're doing well today anyway. Should have a 2 o'clock show for you as well. So, okay, this is just some quotes from Erik ten Hag about Harry Maguire. So this is Ten Hag's words. He said, it's clear Maguire is good enough to play at the highest level. He has, for England, good games almost all the time. He had a period in Manchester where he performed badly. Then, of course, there are difficulties. But when he's working hard, he gets that confidence. You're seeing that with the way he's playing for England. He says, we want him to bring it on the pitch for United. I expect that from him. The team knows what they expect from him. If he does that, he will be a great player for us. There are laws of the game in top football. You have to take your chance. The only thing Maguire has to do is train well and perform well. He's got games. He's got the rhythm. His chance will come. And he says, when I chose Varane, it is nothing against Maguire. Sometimes it is because one player is better than the other. I have 2 or 3 good players in the right centre-back position. And after Brentford, I had to change the mentality. Maguire was unlucky that moment when that moment went bad for him, but it doesn't say anything about his quality. Varane came in and is doing a good job. So look, I think Erik ten Hag impresses me most things that he says, but there's 2 things in there really, isn't there? Sometimes in football you pick a better player, Varane, and Varane came in and did a better job. The reality is Maguire could win that place back. He could win that place back, but Ten Hag knows it, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Varane and Martinez are better than Maguire. I mean, I don't know why Varane's getting mentioned anyway, because Maguire played left centre-back for England. Now, if you remember, in the summer when he played for England, he was suddenly playing right centre-back. And in the pre-seasons, he was playing right centre-back. And I was like, well, Maguire ain't stupid. He's asked to play right centre-back because he knows Martinez is going to be left centre-back. Then for England in the World Cup, he's back to playing left centre-back again. So, what are you? Are you left-sided centre-back or are you right-sided centre-back? So, it's not necessarily Varane's competition. He could also be Martinez's competition, which takes me back to what I've said before. Varane and Martinez are on a different level to Maguire. And now if there's a really bad run of games or one of them gets injured, then it's Maguire versus Lindelof. But again, I guarantee that whoever's asked Erik ten Hag about that is another journalist who is obsessed with talking about Harry Maguire. We get it all the time, and I don't know why. Why we're not talking about Victor Lindelof? Because he's Swedish. For me, there's no difference between Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. And Victor Lindelof's done okay in the 2 games that Man United have played. So, and he's had a whole month off. But it's Harry Maguire. And I'm like, why doesn't Victor Lindelof get the mention? And the fact that he doesn't, does that not evidence to you the bias we have around, our journalism in the UK? Because it's obsession. And obsession for me is not journalism. It's not proper reporting. It's bias. It's weighted. And it's always Harry Maguire and it's never Victor Lindelof. And I think it's unfair. I think they're both good backup centre-backs. And if Varane gets injured, it's one of the 2. And let's not forget, Ten Hag went with Lindelof before the World Cup. So, again, why are we talking about it? He's had a good World Cup. Let's see what he can do when he comes back. Can you do a separate video on who would be next England manager? Because I think Southgate will walk, says Nathan Allen. I'm going to do a video on it, yes. I do want to talk about that, Nathan. You know why I want to talk about that? Same old shit we get in this country. I don't know whether anybody's seen it. So basically, I was listening to Talk Sport this morning and they were going, next England manager needs to be English. Carragher was going, next England manager needs to be English. Right, what a load of shite. You've got Pochettino, Tuchel and Rodgers. They're not English. And then you've got Southgate to stay, Gerrard. They are English. You're telling me, because of their passport, I'm going to go for Southgate and Gerrard over Rodgers, Tuchel and Poch. What a crock of shit. What year is it? Is it 1952 or is it 2022? The next England manager's got to be English. What a crock of shit. Check England rugby team, England cricket team, England football team. Go through the last 20 years. You'll have a very big fucking list of players that weren't born in England. What a crock of crap. It's 2022. Don't hide your patriotic bullshit behind, wow, I think it should be the best of every manager from each country against each country. Piss off. It works for you in the rugby team. It works for you in the England team. It works for playing, so it can work for managers. Get the best. And again, I'll go back to it. Why are we always talking about Harry Maguire? Why are we not talking about Victor Lindelof? Manchester United, is based in England, but most of our success is based on foreign players and has been for decades. Do you think United should write off the smaller cups for top four? I think that's an interesting question, Trey, and it's a question that we don't really know about at the moment because we're so excited that Manchester United are going to be back, and that Burnley game is our first game back. I'm like, yeah, let's go and win the Carabao Cup. But I think once the season starts running again, I would agree with you that it's not probably achievable for that team to achieve big things in all tournaments. Off topic, but did you read about Rayner and Greg, says DC? Nope, I haven't read about that, but I presume it's something to do with their team. But look, yeah, very interesting what Eric Ten Hag said about the centre-back situation, but cold, harsh truth, Varane and Lindelof are first-choice centre-backs. I think everybody would agree with that. And I've got to be honest as well. I'm going to be honest here. I watched every England game, and I personally thought that I don't think our defence did that well. I mean, Iran got dominated, had 2 quick attacks and scored 2 goals. France got dominated, 2 quick attacks and scored two goals. And also, Giroud won 2 other big chances in the box from crosses. Remember that cross where Giroud sort of had to dive back to head it and he headed it straight at Pickford? I was like, how did Maguire and Stones not stop that? Then there was the one where Giroud, the brilliant save that Pickford made just before the Giroud header. And then the cross straight in but past Stones and Maguire couldn't quite get there. So I don't think England's defence played that well. I really do think that people forget we played Iran, who were crap, Wales, who were crap, USA, who had nobody up front, Senegal, who were pretty crap, and then we played France. I think the defence had their slippers on. I don't think the defence had much to do. And when they did have to do something, we generally conceded. But what do I know? England's women's team's coach, who just won the Euros, is foreign. Maybe we should take a leaf out of their book. Mason, I'm going to stand up and applaud. You won't see my head. What a great quote. What a great quote. In this world of diversity, women in football, which is fantastic, they've just won the Euros with, I think it was a German coach. Oh, but it doesn't matter because it's the women. Oh, you're going to be a sexist, are you? Put that in your pipe, Carragher, and everybody else who wants an English manager. The women just won it without an English manager. What's your answer to that? Because I tell you what, he'll be mumbling. He'll be his lips will be bumping like a tractor down a rocky road. What you got to say about that then? Oh, an English manager should always be English. All right, but the women's team have just won it with a German. Come on, say the words. Say the words you want to, but you daren't say it. I dare you to say it. You know what he wants to say. Bollocks. Use Maguire. I'm going to definitely go and record a video now on That's Football. You've got me going. Use Maguire funds to buy high potential Vardy House's junior. Well, that is a good point. We do need to bring another. We do need to bring another centre back in the summer, don't we? She's Dutch. Sorry, she's not German. She's Dutch. I did say I thought she was German. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention. I did watch it in the summer, but yeah, we do need to buy a centre back in the summer anyway. So whatever you think about Maguire, etc., we do need to, or Lindelof, we do need another centre back. And the reason we need another centre back is because we need a different profile. I think with Lindelof and Maguire, if you lose Varane or Martinez, you play different. I've seen it. I saw it against Fulham. If you lose Varane, that high line is not as high. And it's not just about the high line. It's not, everyone says, oh, high line, high line, high line. It's not just about the high line. It's the fact that Varane, who I thought, and I've not heard anybody say this, by the way, because he's not English. I thought Varane in that quarter-final was absolutely world-class. Never put a foot wrong. I thought Upamecano was shaky. I thought his passing out from the back. I thought Upamecano was vulnerable. I thought Varane was brilliant. Now, I've not heard anyone talk about it, not even United fans, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But the thing about Varane and Martinez, you can leave them on their own. They'll say to each other, I'm fine with this player. If you want to step forward, that's fine. If you fullbacks, piss off. I don't want to see you till full time. Varane and Lindelof and Maguire, they're not that type of centre-back. It's a bit like a Tarkowski centre-back. They can't lose their fullbacks and be left one-on-one. They're good centre-backs, Maguire and Lindelof, but they can't be left on their own. Varane and Martinez can, and that changes the way you're playing, because Dalot and Luke Shaw and Casemiro are a little bit more, I'm not going to go, I'm going to stay. And that is why we need another centre-back brought in, because if Varane or Martinez are out and you've got to play Lindelof or Maguire, well, Dalot and Shaw and Casemiro can't join the attack as much because they've got to protect them. That's why we need another centre-back, not because Maguire and Lindelof are bad. We played at half a tempo because of those in defence. They were helped by the fullbacks and Rice a lot. Do we not have any other centre-backs in England, says SK? Well, I'd love to, you know what? Forget his passport. And he is English, and I think he should be playing for England, but forget his passport. I'd go for Tomori. I think the profile of Tomori is very, very good. Obviously English, brought up in the English games, gone to Italy, done really, really well. You look at what Chris Smalling's done, and he played in the Premier League, and he's better than Smalling. I think Tomori's a really, really good centre-back. And I tell you what, Tomori will be playing in the Premier League in the next couple of years, and whoever brings him back is going to get a good centre-back. I am planning on being on FIFA today, Liam. Yep, I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I am planning on doing it. So, yes, looking forward to that. And I can only see us going in for all competitions if we get both a right back and a striker, says Dowell. Well, we will get a striker. I don't know about whether we'll get a right back. And what players would you like to see join United in January, says Rainey? Striker's the priority. I don't want Memphis. I'd be very happy with a João Felix or a Gakpo. I don't think we're getting João Felix from the sounds of it. So, yeah, I think Gakpo's looking like the player that we're going to go for. It looks like Gakpo or Memphis to me, and I think Memphis would be a dangerous one to do. Thoughts on Laurent's tweet about Garnacho contract, as Mike Thomas? I haven't seen it. As I understand it, Garnacho's contract actually runs for quite a long time, so there was a bit of a myth going around that he's out of contract in the summer. I can't see that. That's not the truth as far as I'm aware, and I think he will end up staying at United. But look, at the end of the day, you know, nothing surprises me with Manchester United, and he might think he's worth. You know what? United might say to Garnacho, "There's a 5-year deal on 50 grand a week," and he might say, "I want 100 grand a week," and United might go, "You've barely played for the first team. You're a youth player. We're not giving you 100 grand a week." Well, Madrid will give it me in a couple of years. These problems exist. And I like Garnacho, and we're making up a hypothetical story, but these problems exist. What do? Do you just give him 100 grand a week because he might be worth that? You give him 100 grand a week and then you end up with a Janusaj? No. You don't know what the scenario is. It's not always on United, to be fair. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. I should be back at 2 o'clock. I'm going to go and do this England manager video now because I think that'll be funny, and I'll put that up on That's Football. Of course, we've got the World Cup semi-final on That's Football at 7 o'clock tonight, so if there is going to be a United Stand show, it will be at 9 o'clock afterwards, but we'll see if we've got any news today, and I should see you again at 2. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We've got a final super chat coming in from Ryan. He says, "Can you do Football Manager because you've not finished business? You've unfinished business with Solihull and you need to try and get them to the Prem." Still going to do Football Manager, Ryan. Probably going to alternate between Football Manager and FIFA. That was the plan, but we'll talk about that on Twitch at 3 tonight. Take care, everyone. Can I just say as well, links in the video description for United Stand Shopify page. There are still a few of the Christmas knitted jumpers available if you live in the UK. I think we've only got small and large, extra large sizes available, but they've been reduced down to 25 quid just to clear them before Christmas. So if you're looking to get one, check out United Stand Shopify, links in the video description. You will still get them before Christmas, but you've got to get those orders in today. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care.